In this video, I will explain you how you can enhance SAS Visual Analytics report with dynamic infographics. This is a pure demo video, so I will start first showing you the final result, and then I will explain you all the steps that you should achieve to make it on your own. So this is the final report. As you can see, we have used a few report objects. We have a bar chart, a butterfly chart, a list table, and also a data-driven content object. The data-driven content object is there to display an HTML page and will interact with the other objects in the report. So as you can see, clicking on this bar chart is rendering other information, splitting the information based on the age of each individual. We are using the SAS help class table or the SAS help class fit table that are available with SAS. So the nice thing is that you have integration. So you are clicking and it has an impact on the graph. How are we creating this? So we will first select an image on the internet. The image is available here. I will save that image on my drive. Open the image in an image editor software. In this case, I will use Snagit. The image is black and white. This is easier to achieve the purpose that we want to achieve. So I will first do a bit of cropping to have a nice picture. There is no need to have those information on the right and left hand side. We have now the information. I will use the magic wand tool that is available in all the softwares to select all the pixels that are black and delete those pixels. The same for the head of the human symbol. Then save the image. I will save the image as a PNG file. The reason for that is that PNG handles properly the multi-layer information. What does that mean, multi-layer information? Is we are seeing here that we have a foreground in white and the background. So we don't have the background here, but it's transparent. So this means that we will be able to display colors behind this image. So now that we have that image, which is fine, we will do a bit of HTML editing, because the data-driven content objects are using HTML page behind the scene. So you can reference an HTML page. In this case, the HTML page is pretty simple. I've defined jQuery to make sure that we can easily handle the request to modify the DOM object in HTML. We have some JavaScript files that are provided by SAS. Those files are available on GitHub. Then in the body, I will define a few divs. Those divs are basically the image that we have just edited, and then two other divs that will be used for the background colors that will appear, and then finally a small table at the bottom which displays male and female and the information about the coloring. As you can see, we are using classes over here, and those classes are CSS classes. So for the image, I've done a bit of formatting, and the most important part is that I'm defining z index equal 1. This means that the image will appear in the foreground. You should also position it as absolute to make sure that it's really positioned at the place you want to see it. So in this case, from the top left, 0 pixel and top 8 pixels. Then I'm defining two different colors, one for female and one for male. And then I'm defining the two divs that are used to display the background color. And the important part here is the z index. set to -1, which means that we will go in the background. With the index, you can play and with the numbers. So the smaller number goes in the background, the higher numbers goes in the foreground. And then we will do the wiring, and the wiring will occur thanks to the two JavaScript that we have defined up here and that are available on GitHub. There is the call to a function, which is called display gauge. This is provided out of the box with the GitHub functions. And then we have defined the function to handle the message from VA. So that means that we are handling when the data is passed from the VA report to our HTML page. We are doing some formatting, specifying the height and the width of the image that we will see in the foreground. The ratio will come from the data that we have in the VA report. And we will define the size of the top region, which will have color 0 class. We do the same for color 1 class. And we specify the image width in such a way that it's not going outside of the size of the image. For each object that are retrieved from the VA report, so basically the data that is coming from the VA report, we are defining the color, being male or female, depending on the data. If the data comes with a F, it's female. If it's a M, it's a male. And then we assign those colors on the HTML object. When this is done, we save the file, and then we will upload the file to the web server. So there are two different ways to do it. Or you create your own web server and you deploy the HTML page on the web server that you have defined. But that means that you need to set up the course within the VIA environment. It can be done using Environment Manager. Or the other way to do it is to save your HTML file directly on the web server that is installed by default when you configure your SAS VIA environment. This is this last option that we will use. So what I will do is basically upload the data using rsync. So as you can see here, I'm uploading from my disk to the server. It's now uploading. The upload is done. Then within the VA report, we will specify the information. So we will enter in edit mode, select the gauge and the option. As you could see, that's the host name of the server, and the gauge is the folder where the HTML file is stored. Then we define the data roles. We define sex and frequency %. We could have used another variable, but in this case we are filtering by sex, which is fine, and the frequency calculates the ratio automatically for us. What we have also is, in this object we have set the actions so that the object is filtering all the other objects on the page. You can clearly see here that we have some color in the background of the image, and that's why we had to resize it a bit in order to display the information properly and that we don't see those colors getting out of the foreground image. If we resize, everything appears properly. Stop with editing, and we are back to the situation where we have all the integration that we need. Where should you go from here? So now that you have a working example, if you need more information, you can go to the SAS Visual Analytics 8.5 documentation. You have there the needed information. You have also the GitHub information. This is where the JavaScript files are coming from. And if you need more information and some example about using data-driven content objects, you can easily find this information on our community's website. Thank you for your attention, and check back with the Technical Insights and Expertise series for additional tips.